Okay, guys, so today is 21st of June, and we're looking at CADCHF. We've once looked at this pair, and I believe that we marked out a fair value gap on a weekly time frame. And I said if price wants to continue lower, to target this low as our first target, and eventually this low down here as our second price, we need to retrace back into this fair value gap to take out this low right here. It will be very unreal for price to retrace right up here before it can continue downward. But that is for price to decide if it wants to retrace right up here. It will tell us by creating bullish fair value gaps to the upside. But for now, we are seeing this bearish fair value gap, right, being created right here with this candle. This candle, we could say this candle looks like a respect candle, but if you go down to the lower time frame, you will see that the fair value gaps that were being created right here were traded back into already. So they are not actually fair value gaps that can hold. But in this other candle, this week candle, last week candle, right? That created this fair value gap. In this week's candle, we are already seeing it creating a bullish respect candle. So if we go down to the daily, so the weekly is looking the weekly overall price action for weekly is bearish. But if we are trading this single candle, this single weekly candle is looking bullish. So we are having a bullish sense in the market. So if we go down, okay, now you see this is the weekly. That is the first weekly respect candle. This is it. Last week respect candle. This is it. It did not created. It didn't created any. It didn't create any fair value gap going lower. Right. This is it. This is it. Let's see. It started here. This Monday. Started here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It didn't create any fair value gap going lower. So that is why we cannot really say it was a respect candle. But this week's candle has created this respect candle right here. It has created this respect candle. This one. It has created this fair value gap. I'm sorry. So if price wants to continue higher, price will need to tap into this fair value gap before continuing higher. But where can we really pick that trade? Like where can we really get that entry? You know, um, let's go down to the 4 hours. All right, in the 4 hours, inside of this weekly fair value gap, this daily fair value gap, sorry, we see that we have this fair value gap right here. Let me cancel this. We have this fair value gap right here. It's a very small fair value gap, and we have this fair value gap. Don't minimize the fair value gap, all right? Even the smallest fair value gap can still hold and push price forward. So we have this fair value gap that can most likely push price higher. And if you see right now, you'll see that this fair value gap is most likely to hold because the bearish and the bullish power, the bullish power and the bearish power, they are almost equal. They're like 50-50. All right. So now we are anticipating for price to stink into this fair value gap, give us a rejection. When it gives us a rejection, then we can go to our 15 minutes to take our entry, our sharp turn entry. Our target will be this weekly fair value gap right here. That'll be our target. So if we get an entry in 1 hour, if it stings and we didn't get an entry on the 15 minute, we can still go down to the 1 hour. Then we look for that. We look for that bullish fair value gap going higher. Like for more confirmations, right? You can go down to the 1 hour when price stinks into this 4 hour fair value gap. When price thing is before half a value gap, then you can go to the 1 hour and take your entry inside the bullish fair value gap. So this is what you need to do, right? On the CAD CHF, you need to go down to the 4 hours, down to the 4 hours, right? You mark out this fair value gap. You wait for price to come into the fair value gap on the 4 hours, and then you go down. Now when price hits this when price comes into this fair value gap, when price comes into this fair value gap, sorry, when price comes in to this fair value gap on the 4 hour, yeah, you go down to the 1 hour, go down to the 1 hour. Now on the 1 hour, what you do is that you wait for price to create bullish fair value gaps like this. Price to create bullish fair value gaps like this. When price creates bullish fair value gaps like this, you wait. You see all these kind of fair value gaps being created like this, right? Price is going to create a bullish fair value gap when it comes down to this 4 hour fair value gap. When it trades down to this 4 hour fair value gap right here, right? On the 4 hour time frame, and then it start going up, it's going to create a bullish fair value gap going it's going to create a bullish fair value gap going higher. Like price is going to come down, keep coming down, keep coming down until it gets here. Then it start going up, start going up, start going up. So what you do is that on the 4 hours, it's going to be just like one candle coming down like this straight, right? But on the 1 hour, it's not going to be one candle. On the 1 hour, it's going to be multiple candles coming down and multiple candles going up. So the multiple candles coming down and going up will be creating fair value gaps. So now what you need to do is to wait for the fair value gap that will be created when price start going up. You mark it. You wait for price to come back into this fair value gap, into this bullish fair value gap, right? When price comes down into this 4 hour fair value gap, right? You wait for it to start going back up, creating a new bullish fair value gap. Then you mark out the bullish fair value gap. You wait for price to come down into it and then reject it. When price comes down into it, you wait for it to reject. Do not take an entry yet. Do not go down to your lower time frame and start taking entry. No. Wait for price to come into it and then reject off of it. Now, when it rejects off of it and the next candle closes, you can then go down to your 15 minutes, right? You can then go down to your 15 minutes and see if you get a fair value gap going in and also a fair value gap going out, right? And then you can then take your entry to then target this high, your 1 to 2 RR. So that is it for CADCHF. So just be be alert, just be on alert, all right? Just be on alert. So but right now you can see that price is looking bearish. So if I take my fifth tool, sorry, if I take my fifth tool within this range, I see that that's a very nice range for me to trade in. So that is it for CADCHF. Thank you very much. See you next time.